one, you take your move-in inspection report. Number two, you have to do a statement of condition before, at the same time that you're taking that security deposit. If you take the security deposit without a statement of condition, you've already broken the law. Be prepared to pay the triple damages. Hey, what's up, all of my real estate peeps? This is Brian Lucier with another episode of the Why Not Real Estate Podcast, Golden Nugget. In the Golden Nuggets, we'll take a tip, tactic, or technique and unpack that, give you a bunch of details so you can educate yourself, become a more savvy real estate investor by learning from all these tips that I've learned over the years, not just myself, but other people who've trained me and taught me along the way for the past 2 decades. So sit down, get a notepad, and be prepared to get fed with a water hose. So in this part of the market, and I've been doing a series on market cycles, where I think we are now and what I think we see coming, definitely see buying opportunities coming. So when that happens, everyone's going to be hair on fire, running around, making deals, placing offers, have 1,000 things to do, and they're not going to have time to work on their operations. Okay, one of the hardest things we had to do at Bel Air was plan a system that was scalable. Right now we're running at so many doors, and we're constantly challenging the team and asking the question, is what we're doing today going to work and be feasible if we double, if we triple, if we quadruple, if we 5 times size what we're doing? If what we're doing today works, great. If it's not, and it's going to calculate our risk beyond what we could bear, then we have to work on those operations and systems today to prepare us for the scaled growth tomorrow. Because once the market turns and everyone's buying property crazy at discount prices, that will not be the time to be figuring out your operations. That's when people are going to bleed and get hurt. So let's take some notes, work on operations today. Today, I want to unpack security deposits. I know half of you just fell out of your chair because this is a real tender spot with landlords. So, give you an idea, right? When you rent an apartment, at least in Massachusetts and most of the other states in the country, you can get a first month's rent, you can get a last month's rent, and you can get a security deposit. Now, depending where you are in the country, your laws for tenant and landlord may change, may have some fine-tuned details that you need to know. If you're in Ohio, you need to know Ohio. If you're in Orlando, you need to know Orlando. If you're in upstate New York, you need to know upstate New York. Right now, for me, I know Massachusetts and LA. Those are my markets. That's where I am, okay? So I'm going to just focus on Massachusetts right now, but you can fill in the blanks. The timelines and the dates that I'm going to use may be different in the area where you invest. But you can also go to the nolo.com site. That's NOLO.com. There's all kinds of great reference books in there. That's a legal website page. But if you do a search for tenant landlord law, you can do specific by state, and you can get the answers that you're looking for. So that's definitely your first golden nugget off of this video. Nolo.com. You'll be able to look up the tenant landlord laws for where you're doing business. Okay, so here we are. Massachusetts General Law 186 subsection 15B, hallelujah, that's the law I live and breathe by in Massachusetts regarding security deposits. So I'm going to walk you through a security deposit beginning to end the life cycle. I'm going to say this is a 1-year period. I'm going to walk you through what needs to happen. Why is this important? Because in Massachusetts, if you screw this up, you are blessed with the privilege of paying the tenant triple damages. So let's say you have a $2,000 unit, you've taken a $2,000 security deposit, and if you miss any of these items, any one of these items, tenant can bring you to court, say, hey, I didn't get what I was supposed to get when he was supposed to give it to me, I want triple damages. Now there are some ways, I'll say at the end of the video, how you can get around that. I won't say it's painless, but it's not as painful. So that $2,000 security deposit, if you mess that up, could cost you $6,000. Multiply that times 10 units, you're out of business at $60K if you're doing this wrong. So let's do this. First thing you need to do before you accept a security deposit is you must have a move-in condition report. Before you even show the unit, you want to take pictures, every angle, every room. You want to make notes. If there's scratches on the porcelain in the tub, you want to make notes that there's scratches on the porcelain in the tub. If there's a nick on the countertop or scratches in the hardwood floor, you want to indicate and note all this and take photographs. You cannot take too many photographs, okay? Some of our inspection reports at Bel Air have 60, 70, 80 photographs in them because I know at the end of this, the first thing a resident is likely to say is, it was like that when I moved in. Well, here's your move-in date, here's the inspection report before you moved in. It wasn't like that when you moved in. Here are the pictures. Here's what it looks like after. You have to pay for the damage. Okay, so first thing you need is a move-in inspection report. Now, the tenant moves in, you're going to collect a security deposit. You have to give them a copy of that move-in inspection report. It's a really good idea. Do you have to? Maybe not. You can keep it in your back pocket, but I'll leave that one up to you. You know, you may want to bring it to them and show them and say, hey, look, this is what it is. Fine. They saw it once. Maybe you retain it. Your choice. Now, you need to do a statement of condition move-in. A move-in statement of condition. So you're going to rent from me. I'm going to give you the keys. We're going to walk through that unit. I'm going to walk you through it. I'm going to say, yep, here's the inspection report. Those are the scratches in the living room, 3 feet out by 2 feet out. That's where the scratches where the rocking chair was. Here in the kitchen, here's the scratches on the laminate. I guess they were using it as a cutting board. Get a cutting board. Don't do that, right? So you indicate all these things you walk through. On your statement of condition that you're going to give to the resident moving in, you indicate in writing, living room floor, scratches on floor, 2 feet out left wall, 3 feet in right wall. Kitchen, countertop, left side of sink, 6 inches out, scratches from previous tenant using it as a cutting board. These are the things that were pre-existing damages when they moved in, okay? Everything else, you're gonna have a checklist. This was good, this was good. No broken windows, no broken doors, no broken cabinets, no broken cabinet drawers. All the plumbing's working properly, no scratches, whatever. You're gonna indicate all of this stuff. So number one, you take your move-in inspection report. Number two, you have to do a statement of condition before, at the same time that you're taking that security deposit. If you take the security deposit without a statement of condition, you've already broken the law. Be prepared to pay the triple damages, okay? It's paperwork. Now, before we go down the rest of this road, if any of this seems scary or it's like, oh my God, I can't keep track of all that, don't take a security deposit, okay? Those are the first two items. Now, you're going to take that security deposit. They have the statement of condition, which you want them to sign. You have to give them a copy of this, and you have to keep a copy of this. That's the third thing you need to do. You have to exchange this. They need to physically have this in their possession. The fourth thing, you're going to take that check, and you must put it in an escrow account. If you don't know what that means, go on to tenant landlord law, Google it, Massachusetts, whatever state you're in, type in security deposit and learn what the requirements are for your state where you are. For Massachusetts, very specific, must be a Massachusetts chartered bank, must be a tenant landlord escrow account, must collect interest. Okay, those are your first three prongs. Credit union does not apply. There is court law on this, court case law. It's a credit union. Sorry, the statute says bank, not financial institution. So it needs to be a bank. I would not put a security deposit in Massachusetts into a credit union. You could lose. You could end up losing. Okay? Tenant landlord account. What does that mean? John Smith is going to rent from me. John Smith is the beneficiary. Bel Air Property Management is the custodian. So John Smith has given me the escrow as the custodian. I'm going to go to the bank, open it up, put it in a proper escrow account for tenant landlord. If you're not sure, ask the bank. I'm a landlord opening an escrow account. What is the proper product you have at your bank for me to be in compliance with Massachusetts law? They should give you pamphlets and booklets and all that stuff. You want to verify this. Needs to be an interest-bearing account. Okay, we've done that. We've set it all up. Now, within 30 days of you receiving that security deposit, you must notify the resident, the bank, the address, the amount deposited, and the account number. All of those. They need to have those. Probably best when they open up that account, they're going to print out a sheet that says the bank address, their logo, the account number, the balance, the date. Just make a copy of that and give it to them. If you want to type it up, put it in a formal letter, you can do that as well, but I would give them the actual document. All right, that is going to protect you. Okay, so everything's fine. You've set it all up. They've got what they needed. You've hit all the landmarks going forward. Great. A year later, they're going to move out for whatever reason. They're going to relocate. This is no harm, no fault. Just for this example, they're going to move out. So they're going to give you a notice to quit or a notice to not renew their lease or let you know, hey, I'm going to move out by August 31st. Great. Now you have a move out date. This, in my world, becomes the effective date. That's when all of the three-ring circus starts. The day that they move out, you now must conduct a move out report. That means you're going in there with your camera. We use software we can do right on our phone. Templates come up. We can take pictures, plug it into the template, be done in about an hour, do the entire apartment. Oh, guess what? We have a broken window. We have a broken drawer. We have whatever, a busted toilet seat. And we're going to take pictures of all of this stuff. Going to put it into the report, and then later we can go in and type out all these details. It wasn't like that when you moved in. It's like this now. This is tenant damage. Like, the one caveat are carpets. Hate carpets because you can always say normal wear and tear, because we've even heard judges say this. They're really not going to honor unless there's like paint or ink, or you've got a picture that really shows the carpet was trashed within 1 year. Okay, then you might have something. But if the carpet's 10 years old, that's normal wear and tear, and you're not going to be able to pin that on a tenant moving out. Okay, so here we are, the move out inspection report. We document everything. This we're going to share with the tenant and the landlord if we're managing for a client. And we're going to go through this and say, okay, this is wear and tear, this is security deposit. And we're going to give the tenant the opportunity to come in and fix the stuff that we need to charge them for. And we're going to let them know, this is stuff that you're responsible for and you're going to be billed for it. How do you want to handle this? And we'll want to document that, put it in an email, put it in a text, put it in something way before the completion date, all right? The effective date is when they move out. In Massachusetts, for me, the completion date is before 30 days, because by 30 days they must receive everything that they need to get, or you've tripped another landmine and may owe them triple damages. We're trying to avoid that. Okay, we've given them the move out inspection report. They've indicated, yeah, this is going to be done, that's going to be done, there's busted mini blinds. They say, fine, fix it. Okay, we are going to hire a contractor to go in and make the repairs. because a landlord cannot charge for labor for their own labor in Massachusetts. They own the property. However, you can hire John Smith Construction Carpentry to go in and change all the mini blinds, to fix the drawer, to do whatever needs to be done, and they're going to submit an invoice or a bill. This is critical. You need the invoice and the bill. So let's make it real simple. They busted a drawer. They have $300 worth of damage that we're going to deduct from their security deposit. $100 in labor, $200 in parts. So John Smith Carpenter is going to put together an estimate. On that written estimate, $100 labor, $200 for labor and parts, and he's going to give it to the property manager or the landlord. Now you have a piece of paper which you need under pains and penalties of perjury. It says that, under the pains and penalties of perjury. Make sure that sinks in. If I don't have that document and I deduct the $300, I've tripped another wire and I'm cashing out at 3 times. So I have their $1,000 deposit, say it's $1, $10 interest, so $1,010 principal plus interest minus the $300 is $710, right? They need to get a check back for $710. If I'm holding the $300, then I'm going to give them all this statement. It's all going to be typed up, and on the last page, I need to include a copy of that invoice from John Smith Carpenter Construction, that they can see it was $100 for labor, $200 for parts. Done. Almost. So this is all put together. It all has to be documented in writing. I would do this multiple ways. I would email it to them. I would text them a note saying what it is. I would leave them a phone call, and I would absolutely post date it a week before the completion date. So if we're looking at the 31st, -7, whatever that is, the 22nd, 23rd, 24th, whatever it is, by the 22nd, actually on ours, 1 week out, everything's got to be done and in the mail. So we hit the completion date. So now we have the check going back plus interest. We have the statement of condition. We've already done the move out statement. We have to back that up, the move in statement condition. They get all this under pains and penalties of perjury before 30 days when they moved out. We should be good. Okay. So I think I've given you a pretty good picture of what needs to happen here. Now, on that effective date, you got to hit the ground running. On that very first day, you need to do your inspection report, get everything documented, figure out if you need plumbers, electricians, chuck in the truck, whoever you're going to hire, get them lined up, get written estimates immediately. Because if the work is not finished within that 30 days, at least you have a written estimate that you can deduct against from that security deposit. So if everything works fine, you've checked off all the boxes along the way, you've returned the statement of condition in time, given it back to the tenant, you're good, okay? If a tenant ever pushes back and say, no, the draw was like that, I didn't break it, you better have your documentation in order, because this could go to court. And you could be standing before a judge, and you better be able to check every single box along the way. If you miss one item, one date, by a day, you lose. The judge is not going to forgive you. You're running this as a business. You got to run it as a business. You got to adhere to these deadlines. A little bit of a scary story, security deposits. I hope I did not scare you away from being a landlord. But again, if any of this seemed too overbearing or something you just don't have the capacity to manage, or don't have an assistant who can manage a calendar and get all this stuff done, then I would just strongly suggest don't take a security deposit. So I hope that helped. Just to recap, if you're in a different state watching this and you're not sure what your laws are, go to nolo.com, do a search for tenant landlord, then plug in your state, and you should be able to get the addendum, the book, or literature that will point you to a website or direction where you can make sure that you, in your state, as a landlord or property manager, are handling security deposits within the legal limits of tenant-landlord law. This was a good one. I hope you took notes. And if not, bookmark it, come back, watch it again. Share it with your other landlord friends. And again, for all of our podcasts, we would love it, love it, love it. If you would like, click down there, click like on the video, and please subscribe. The more you subscribe, the more you like us, the more people will find us, and we'll be able to share this free information with other landlords. We don't charge a dime. We've already paid the cost, scars, shot glass, and the t-shirt to be able to share this with you today. My real estate peeps, ladies and gentlemen, all real estate investors, landlords, and property managers, this is Brian Lucier from the Why Not Real Estate Podcast, Golden Nugget, signing off, and we'll see you on the next one.